I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. If you go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today would seem like magic. Being able to talk to people over long distances, to transmit messages, flying, accessing vast amounts of data like an oracle, these are all things that would have been considered magic a few hundred years ago. Entrepreneurship is like eating glass and walking on hot coal at the same time. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. Patience is a virtue, and I am learning patience. It's a tough lesson. Engineering is the closest thing to magic that exists in the world. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. People should pursue what they are passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. We are the first species capable of self annihilation. Life is too short for long term grudges. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Constantly seek criticism. A well thought out critique of whatever you are doing is as valuable as gold. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then probability will occur. My children didn't choose to be born. I chose to have children. They owe me nothing. I owe them everything. Education is basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain. When you struggle with a problem, that's when you understand it. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. Take risks now and do something bold. You won't regret. Don't confuse schooling with education. I did not go to Harvard, but the people that work for me did. You will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself defeated. Your I can is more important than your IQ. Don't be afraid of new arenas. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about universe. Your will is the most accurate way to predict the future. Nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it is not. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. It is very important to like people you work with. Otherwise, life and your job is gonna be quite miserable. One of the really tough things is figuring out what questions to ask. Once you figure out the question, then the answer is relatively easy. One thing I have learned in a long life that all our science measured against reality is primitive and childlike, and yet it is the most precious thing we have.